तोरा मन दर्पण कहलाए, तोरा मन दर्पण कहलाए। भले बुरे सारे कर्मों को देखे और दिखाए, तोरा मन दर्पण कहलाए, तोरा मन दर्पण कहलाए। मन ही देवता मन ही ईश्वर, मन से बड़ा न कोई। मन ही देवता मन ही ईश्वर, मन से बड़ा न कोई। मन उजियारा जग जब फैले, जग उजियारा होए। मन उजियारा जब जब फैले, जग उजियारा होए। इस उजले दर्पण पर प्राणी धूल न जमने पाए, तोरा मन दर्पण कहलाए, तोरा मन दर्पण कहलाए। सुख की कलियां दुख के कांटे, मन सबका था। सुख की कलियां दुख के कांटे, मन सबका था। मन से कोई बात छुपे ना, मन के नैन हजार। जग से चाहे भाग ले कोई, मन से भाग न पाए, तोरा मन दर्पण कहलाए, तोरा मन दर्पण कहलाए। भले बुरे सारे कर्मों को देखे और दिखाए, मन दर्पण कहलाए, तोरा मन दर्पण कहलाए। गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा, गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा, मेरे जीवन का अवलंबन है, बस एक यही मेरा बल है। गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा। भवनीय कृपा भवनीय कृपा भवनीय कृपा हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राम हरे हरे राम हरे हरे
Hari Om, Aryan, very good playing, Mridangam.
Thank you.
Nice.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Vedanta Vedyam Sri Ramam Natva Sri Chinmayam Gurum Vakshye Vedanta Madhuryam Lokanandakaram Bhavet. We'll go to the verse number 11 onward. Okay. Prayatante sukayeva tata dukkha nivrittaye vitta bhogaischa jana sarvatra sarvada. Sarvatra sada janaha prayatante dukkha sukhaya eva dukkha nivrittaye. The agenda of all our lives are only one and the same. दुक्ख निवृत्ति सुख प्राप्ति. जो कर्म हम करते हैं वो भी सुख के लिए, जो कर्म में हम नहीं करते हैं उसको भी वो भी सुख के लिए. Now our idea of sukham presently is only in the form of avoiding dukkham. Hunger brings kind of pangs and pain, and therefore we eat food to overcome that pain. Physical body is tired and exhausted. To avoid that further exhaustion, we go to sleep again, dukkha nivrittaye. Few things that we do in our life for the sake of gaining a particular kind of happiness. So, interesting, somebody had observed, if sorrows in our life are coming without we asking for it, why do you think sukham also cannot come in the same way? Do we ask for sorrow? No, it comes. But in the same way, sukham also should come on its own. But we don't have the patience to wait for that. So we go for particular sukham that we want. Indriya sukham, manas sukham, buddhi sukham. And Bhagavad Gita very clearly says that every one of us are capable of meditating. Somebody asked me, Swamiji, how to meditate? I said, we don't need to worry about that because we do meditate. What? Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha. Vishaya dhyanam, we are all doing. Dhyanam nama kim? What is dhyanam? Eka chintanam.
sajadiya vritti pravaha eva dhyanam. To begin with, thoughts of the similar kind or the same object, when we keep thinking, that is called dhyanam. So we all do the dhyana. Bhagavan Krishna says, dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sankasteshu upajayate. Right? Very well known verses in chapter 2. And Gurudev calls it as ladder of fall. Because that dhyanam, Vishaya dhyanam, what it leads to? Sangaha. Sangat kamaha. Kamat krodaha. So it doesn't elevate us. Though our intent is to have sukham, what is that the end result of that? Pranashyati. This is the autobiography of all of us. So, सुख प्राप्ति के लिए हम इतना काम करते हैं, इतना प्रयत्न करते हैं, दुख निवृत्ति के लिए भी. So the entire life is spent on only on this. And this sukham also alpa sukham only. Adyantavanta kaunteha na teshu ramate buddha. They are beginning and end, as we have seen earlier also. The sparsha bhoga is always dukkha yoni only. Ehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkha yone evate. They only bring more and more pain. Only temporary pleasure will be there. See, in understanding Vedanta, one thing should be clear. ये जगत नित्य है, अनित्य है, मिथ्या है, असत्य है. ये हमको सोचना पड़ेगा. Jagat jo, if we take Jagat as Nityam, then this body is also Nitya only. This body is also Jagat only. What else? If body is Nityam, then there is no moksha possible. We all know body is not permanent. If body, which is the product of these 5 elements, is not permanent, and the world is also nothing but that same thing. Say a नित्य नहीं है, अनित्य है. अच्छा ठीक है. अनित्य वस्तु सत्य है, असत्य है. This impermanent thing is real or not real? So one may say it is temporarily real. If you take temporary reality of the world as well as your body, vairagya nahi hoga. Kyunki if somebody thinks that let me have at least temporary joy. Temporary joy does not allow you to develop vairagya at all. Because one may say, anyway, this world and life is only temporary. Anyway, we are going to, while we are living, let me enjoy that. Vedanta, what is saying? Ye temporary reality also should be discarded. उसका नाम है मिथ्या. जगत मिथ्या है, न सत्य है, न अनित्य है. अनित्य है, even if it is temporary, तस्मात् वैराग्यम न उपजायते. इसलिए भगवान शंकराचार्य is very clearly जगत मिथ्या. Anitya, he didn't say that. Jagat mithya. Why didn't he say Jagat asatya? Because we do experience it. Asatya ka it's experience nahi hoga na. That which is not there, you cannot experience it. Do you experience my horns on my head? I painted recently. Do you see it? जो नहीं है उसका अनुभव नहीं होगा. सो जगत सत्य नहीं है, जगत असत्य भी नहीं है. सत्यम चेत न बाधेत. If it is real, it will never disappear. Asachet na pratiyeta na anubhavam dadati. If it is unreal, it cannot give you experience. So that which is giving experience, yet not true. And at the same time, it is not true. Meaning, it is neither absent nor really present. It is like your dream, you experience it. You cannot say, I didn't experience the dream. But after waking up from the dream, what do you think? How real was the money that you had there, richness that you enjoyed? इसके लिए इसमें मिथ्या 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 का नाम है यथा दृश्यते तथा नास्ति. जो दिखता है वैसा नहीं है. So when we understand the nature of the objects, including this physical body, as mithya, we interact with that. We may have experience with it. Neither interaction is real, nor the experience is real. That's why Bhagavan Krishna says, Pashyan, Shrunman, Sprashan, Jigran, Ashnan, Gachan, Shwapan, Shwasan, Vilaban, Srijadan, all these things, seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, walking, talking, everything is going on. मैं नहीं कर रहा हूं. नैव किंचित करोमि. So, सुखार्थं प्रयत्नन्ते प्रयत्नं करोति कुर्वन्तः मनुष्याः अपि, even though as they are striving hard for the sukha prapti, dukkha nivritti, end result is only exhaustion, tiredness. Sarvatra sada prayantante. So now what is the result of that? That is said in the next verse. Napnuvanti chate presh. Napnuvanti chate. What is that? I tune I forgot anyway. Napnuvanti chate preshtam. Napi dukkam nivartate. Vedanto dishadi srotam. Nityanandasya no hriti. Napnuvanti chate preshtam. Napi dukkam nivartate. Vedanto dishadi srotam. Nityanandasya no hriti. Te manushyaha, these people, na preshtam apnuvanti. Praishtam. Ichidam. Ichidam na apnuvanti. Manushyaha. Yadyapi prayatnam karoti sada sarvatra. Even though they are continuously striving day in and day out from the day one is born till the last breath of one's life, continuous effort has been put, but preshtam na apnuvanti. Not desirable thing. Because what we actually desire is Paramananda Sukham, permanent Sukham. But what we get is only glimpses of it. Not even glimpse, only a show. Only a apparent abhasa matram. And at the same time, dukkam na nivartade. Even the sorrow doesn't go away. Old age, disease, sickness, loss, sorrows, agitations, anger, passion, greed, jealousy, weakness, depression, dejection, rejection, all one after another. The more you get attached, the more sorrow you get. That is very, very clear. In your own life, you can check. That in which you have maximum attachment is the maximum source of sorrow. It may be dog, It may be any person also. Because nothing is permanent. Na dukkam nivartade, na ishtam prapnuvanti. All effort is then for what? See, Aisa कहने से, when this is being told, people don't believe. They have to go. Every one of us have to go through our own life, and then only we realize this is what I have done is wrong. By the time you are already 75, what can you do? By the time you realize, it is said that and I was saying I have all the questions, no answers. When I have all the answers, nobody is questioning it. I have all answers for everybody. No, but nobody is asking me questions. You're so disappointed, dejected, and then, chalo, agle janam mein dekhenge. This is the only, what you call, solace a Hindu has got. Agle janam hai na, usme dekhenge. Ye pehle bhi bataya. Last janma also he said the same thing. You forgot? We come fresh slate. Next birth is same thing. So, neither you decide you get the joy also, nor the dukkam also. So, this is what Vedanta really teaches. Vedanto dishati. And also, it is not only showing the dark side or so-called negative side of whole life, saying that this is what you're doing, this is what you're getting. No, it also shows what? Shrotam, hetuhu, karanam, moolam. Of what? Nityanandasya. Of that very joy or the bliss which is nityam. The permanent nature of the joy, bliss, is the cause of that is also shown. Kahan hai? Na hriti. Na, meaning in our own. In our own heart. See, when we give up all our attachments every day and go to the sushupti avastha, the state of deep sleep, aapko kuch nahi mil raha hai. What? Nothing is there. No object, no emotion, no thoughts, no thinking, nothing. You even left the awareness of this physical body you are, that is also gone. Kya mila wahan? What is that you got there? What is that you experienced there? At that time you are not aware. After waking up you say, sukhena maya suptam. Anandamaya anubhavitam. I enjoyed that sleep. By what? By whom? What did give the what is that which gave you the joy there? What is the source there? You see, we are at the close proximity of Paramatma in sleep. Isliye Vedanta says at that stage, the consciousness identified in the Nidra Avastha, totally in the Karana Sharira, is called Prajna. Prajna. Why it is called Prajna? The word is beautifully put. A person who has wisdom is also called Prajna. One who is completely stupid and ignorant in the sleep is also called Prajna. Prajna, prajna. Prajna eva prajna. Now, why is it called prajna in sleep? It's called prayena ajna. In general, he is unaware, not that he is not there, he is unaware. In the lap of the bliss of consciousness, we lie down, not knowing the source. Gurudev used to say, a child is sleeping or is just lying down and about to sleep. And the mother is very worried. The fellow did not drink milk. So what she would do, the fellow is open, mouth is open. So she will put slowly the milk. It will drink. Not knowing that it is drinking the milk. When it gets up, you don't cry because its stomach is full. And it has not done it consciously. The mother only knows that I fed it. In the same way, in the state of the deep sleep, we are enjoying the sukham, but the source is what? Atma eva sukham. Where is it? Naha hriti. In our own heart. Sarvabhuteshu hridisthitam atma eva anandasya sukham mula karanam tasmat. Being the very source of joy is that very self itself, which is present in all hearts. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtaha. Where you are searching then? So Vedantaha dishati, bodhayati, atma eva sukham, na vritte alpe na sukham asti. So therefore, when all the effort that we put on either getting rid of the sorrow or gaining the joy, etc., when we realize that I don't need to do that externally somewhere in the world, for I know that it is not permanent, why am I putting effort there? Why am I exerting? Instead, let me find the very source. Once Sri Ramana Maharshi was approached by a young man. He was coming from a small village. So to come to Thiruvannamalai, he had to take first of the bullock cart and go to the bus stop. From there, he took a bus and then reached the bus station in Thiruvannamalai. And then from there, he took a cycle rickshaw and came to the ashram and walked into the abode where Ramana Maharshi was giving darshan. He sat down quietly. He was a little shy to ask questions, but though he had a question to ask, but he waited for people to move. And when people started to slowly leave for lunch, etc., he crawled himself towards the seat of Ramana Maharshi and looked at him and said, only one or two people around him. So he asked, I have a question. Yes, what is it? How do I realize my own blissful self? How do I realize my blissful self? Ramana Maharshi looked at him quietly. Go back the way you came. That's all. The boy was so disappointed. What? If I am asking question, if he does not know the answer, he can say so. Why is he asking me to go back? And then Ramana Maharshi kept quiet. He closed his eyes. He was so agitated, and then he asked afterwards to somebody, what is he saying? Go back the way you came. So you didn't understand? No. Go back to the source of your own being. Not that you go back to the village. That's what he means. Where is the thought arising? Go to that very source of it. You means you, the individual, thinking individual, the thought. Go to that very source. From there only it has come. When you reach the source, you reach the bliss. In sleep also, what is happening? Manaha nasti. No, mind is not there. In that very absence of the mind, there is something which is present there, due to which alone you are enjoying, experiencing the joy. If the mind had been present, you would not be. जो what you call kshetra mein man hai, where the mind is there cannot be Atma Sukham. Manah, the mind, is an illusory presence. When the mind disappears in the heart is none other than the very source of the mind, source of thought. Therefore, naha hriti nityanandasya shrotam vedantaha darshayati dishati. Continuing. Atmanatmada padartostaha jagatyasmin vilokaya anatma vishaye kwapi sukham nasti kadachana. Atmanatma padartostaha jagatyasmin vilokaya anatma vishaye kwapi sukham nasti kadachana. आत्मा और अनात्मा दो चीज है. आत्मा अनात्मा पदार्थौ स्तः, both of them are there. Asmin jagati, in this very world, iti vilokaya, see this. You see, if you are a vegetarian, you may say I am vegetarian. If you are not a vegetarian, what do you say? Non-vegetarian. So the non-vegetarian, when you say, it is other than vegetarian. Correct. Even in the flight, they say you are vegetarian or not, V or NV. Why not they say meat and non-meat? Why not say that? Tell me. In general, we are vegetarian only. We are not animals. So, non-vegetarian. So, what is usually is that, and then what is not usual, that is given non. Similarly, what am I? Atma. Then what is not you? Anatma. Yat yat idam hi jayate tat sarvam anatma. See, anything that you refer as this is not self. Now, what are the things that you refer as this? What do you think as this? So, you say, this room, this computer, this camera, this table, then you come to the point, this body. Even the so-called body which you have been holding on for a long time, eobi idam hai. Bhagavan Krishna says, idam shariram kaunteya. Is it not? Kshetramitya vidiyate. Usko bhi idam bhi kehte hai. There are only two things in this world which you have to understand. Aham tada idam. And if you keep on negating what is idam, you will come to the aham anyways. Even mind, when it is disturbed, what do you say? This mind of mine, I want to stop this agitation in my mind. This mind is trouble. What is it? Why are you referring the mind as idam? Yadrishyam tadidam. Whatever you can perceive, know, that is idam. And idam vastu, that thing which is called as idam, is anatma. So, jagati asmin atma anatma padartau staha. Two things are there. One is known as Atman, the self, and the Anatma, the not self. And Anatma Vishaye Kwapi Sukam Nasti. Kadachana, at no time there is any joy at all. No, Swamiji, how do you say objects do not have joy? Question is, if you are not there, is it joyful? Aham nahi chet, aham na chet kadam kasya sukam. Object can do have a joy on its own, or object's joy, happiness of the object depends upon the aham or the idam. You tell me. A sweet is a sweet for itself, or sweet is a sweet for the person who is enjoying it? Tell me. A sweet kiska hai? Madhur kiska hai? So, Swamiji, when I have a Rasgulla, what is happening? I enjoyed. Who? Is the tongue? Is the tongue is enjoying the Rasgulla? No, Swamiji, mind. Oh, mind is enjoying Rasgulla. So let the mind enjoy. When you are sleeping, let me put a, you open your mouth, I'll put a Rasgulla. Let me see whether it enjoys or not. When the aham is not there, whose sukam is that? Etenaiv vijanadi kimatra parishishyate, Kathopanishad says. Etena eva atmana eva vijanadi sukam va dukkam va kimatra parishishyate. When idam starts ruling aham, it's called bondage. When aham starts ruling idam, it is called freedom. When we allow the idam vastu to take over us, that is called bondage. That's why Ramana Maharshi say, idam aham pada bhikyaman vaham ahamilina ke alayasattaya. Idam aham padam. This aham, Bhikyam, known as. So this aham is presently we are associating only with, unfortunately, this aham also we know, we are identifying it as a part of idam. We think the awareness is a part of the matter, part of the body, part of the brain. We only recognize it as a thought, but we do not understand it as awareness who is independent of the thought. This is the attempt you do in meditation. By slowly removing thought association, you come to a point of one single thought process, even that merges into pure attention, awareness without any thought. Hrideshu chinta rahito hridakya. Chinta rahita. All the study of the Upanishad, all other things that we do is to come to this point only. All the study is important because we have to intellectually get convinced that anatmani sukam nasti. For this itself, it takes a lot of time. Vishayeshu sukam nasti. Vishayam sarvam vyartham. Dukkhatmakam. Parinamatmakam. Mrityum gacchati. For that itself, it takes time. उसके लिए चित्त शुद्धि होना चाहिए. Pure mind alone can recognize this. Satsangaha, the association with the correct thought is avashyakam, because otherwise we can get back to dragged into the same routine of thinking. When we deal with the people who has Vishaya Sukham alone as their agenda and we get associated with them, we are not able to come out of it. You see? Anatma Vishaye Kwapi Sukham Nasti. This conviction has to come. Vairagya. So therefore, Anubhutamidam sarvaihi janairatra punah punah sukarupasya atmaiva siddham tatparisheshatah Anubhutamidam sarvaihi janairatra punah punah sukaswarupa atmaiva siddham tatparisheshatah. Even in everyday example, you can take that what we say as an object of joy is not an object of joy for the senses. It is not the eye which is experiencing the joy of the beauty of the flower. It is not the tongue that is experiencing the sweetness of a sweet. It is the mind. Again, the mind which we know as only a flow of thoughts. So it is a thought flow that is making us feel that there is a joy in that. Because when I am thinking about a particular object continuously, and if it is not available to me, that object is not going to give me joy because it is not available to me. I have only memory of it. When I come to have the vision of the object of joy, there is a particular vritti that is taking place that is called moda vritti. That the joyful object of joy is in front of me. It's a question of time I can have it. Then when the joy and the object is in your possession, it's called moda. Sorry, first one is priyavritti, when you have the proximity of the object of joy. When you have owned it, which is your own, then it is moda vritti. And when you start experiencing, meaning if you have become one with that object of experience, then it becomes pramoda. In all these three vrittis, priya, moda, and pramoda, the intensity of thought is slowly getting reduced if you look at it. When the object is not available to me only as a memory, there is agitation. When the object is in front of me, there is reduction of thought. When the object is owned by me, further reduction. When I experience, there is absence of thought. In that absence of thought, no more agitation, no more uncertainty. At that point, when the thought has ceased to be, you have the glimpse of Atman. Fraction of a second. Why? No mind. There is Sukham. And we attribute that joy, which we derive from Atman, superimpose it on the object, and we say, this object gave me joy. Uska कहते हैं अज्ञान. Shobhana adhyasa. We have projected the joy which originally belonged to Atman upon the object. And we think, this object gave me joy. So when the vritti shunya takes place, anandam anubhavati, tad anandam vishayeshu adhyasam karodi purusha ajnani. By ignorance, it is projected on the object. Dasmat, at the end, you will say, what is the conclusion? Vishayeshu sukham asti. So what is that which here the stated here? When you keep on deducting, Anubhutamidam sarvaihi janaihi punah punah. By everyone, it is again and again and again experience. What? Sukha Swarupa Atma eva. And how did you come to know? Siddham Parisheshatah. Parisheshatah, what is left behind? What is reminder? What is left behind after all the things have disappeared? As in Sushupti. Everything is gone. What is remaining there? Only Atman. Then that is the only source of joy. So what we get in the Vishaya Sukham, through experiencing the object through the senses, in the form of thoughts, in the absence of your experience is multifold. Every one of us have experienced it. That is the reason why the Bhagavan Shankaracharya uses the three methods: Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti. He shows what is the Shruti explaining this particular process as it is indicated in our Shastra. And then your own Yukti, you use it. What is a Yukti? Keep on negating what is not, what is not, what is not, what is not. Then you come to know, and then it is not just anything alien to you. You yourself know it. Anubhuti. Your own experience it is. So what is said in Shruti is only an expression of somebody's Anubhuti. What is said in the scriptures are not something which is from alien. No. It is those Mahatmas who have experienced it clearly. Therefore, they have declared it. They did not put their name also there. This is what it is. So when we read, it is a statement of a fact. It is a statement of fact, what is said in Shruti. But we don't take it as a statement of fact. We take it as an opinion or an idea, a suggestion. Okay, even if you take it as a suggestion, why not you apply it? आप भी देखो, दृग दृश्य विवेक करो. What is whatever seen is different from whatever who is seeing. And you keep on doing that. Rupam drishyam lochanam drik. Forms are seen, eyes are the seer. Tad drishyam draktumanasam. Eyes are also known by the mind. Mind is also known by the intellect. Buddhi is also known by the one who cannot be known, cannot be seen. Divrittaya sakshi drigeva natu drishyate. So finally, where you come to a point where you cannot go further. So that is a final presence, and because of whose presence everything else is. So when you keep on deducting, you come to a point where you cannot deduct anymore. That is what it is. That is the source. From the effect, you remove all aspects of various other characteristics. You will come to the cause. You look at a golden chain, beautiful ornament, beautiful design, etc. But the design and everything else are only appearances. What is the reality? That it's only gold. You cannot remove the gold and have a chain. In the same way, in the absence of Atman, you cannot have anything that is said to be positively present there. So the methodology that is being taught by Vedanta is Anvaya Vyatireka. Anvaya and Vyatireka, meaning assertion and negation. Why it is necessary that we have to assert and negate? Because when you keep only negating and without asserting the nature of Atman, you will go into Shunya. This is what happened to Buddhism. ये नहीं है, ये नहीं है, ये नहीं है. तो फिर क्या है? कुछ नहीं है. Because न तो दृश्यते. It cannot be seen. Therefore, what they keep on negating, and where do they reach? That which you cannot see. What is their conclusion? Shunyam. Hari Baba. That's why Bhagavan, Shankaracharya says, Brahma Satyam iti jnatva eva jagat mithya iti jnayate. पहले जगत को मिथ्या मत करो, जगत मिथ्या है तो क्या सत्य है मालूम नहीं. Then you will be in trouble. Because that is the reason by the Upanishad, everything, first of all, assert what is there. Is it not Bhagavad Gita chapter 2? Asserting the nature of the self. First, that is what he did. Avinashita tadvitti yena sarvamidam tadam vinasham avyasasya nakaschit kartum arhati. Explaining the nature of the self in the beginning itself, and then he proceeds on negating everything. एक कर्म से नहीं मिलेगा, जप तप से नहीं मिलेगा, योगाभ्यास में नहीं मिलेगा. So he went on negating what it is not possible. But these are all necessary training that you need to give to the mind to go towards what is. In the beginning itself, he has given the characteristics of what is the self. So, Brahma Satyam, this is called Anvaya. Jagat Mithya is Vyatireka. Assertion and then negation. So, continuing here. Anandatmanubhutya chet sarvam dukkham nivartate madhuryam tasya jnanasya vaktavyam kimu shabdatah. Anandatmanubhutya chet sarvam dukkham nivartate madhuryam tasya jnanasya vaktavyam kimu shabdatah. See, earlier it is said that manushyaha prayatante sukarthaya sukaya and dukkha nivrittaye sada sarvatra. Now we are trying to get rid of the sorrow as much as possible and also try to get sukham out of things, and we fail in both because we are going in the wrong direction. Guruji used to say this very common joke, very often he would say. One fellow was driving and he came to a crossroad. So he did not know which direction to go. He was confused. So he looked here and there was a shop there. He went to him and said, hey, this road goes where? He said, I don't know. What about this road? He said, I never gone. So are you not foolish? You are having a shop here and you do not know where these roads are going to. So he said, I may be fool, but I'm not confused like you. So he said, what do you mean by I'm confused? Where do you want to go? That fellow said, I don't know. That is exactly what I'm saying. We are going towards something without knowing where it is leading us to. You know why we are doing all that? Because everybody does the same thing. Okay? If everybody is doing the same thing, why should you do it? Ask question. It's because dimag diya na, Bhagavan. Bhagavan has given you the intellect to question, but you are not using that. So, because everybody is going in the same way, you don't need to go in that way. Because you do not see the end of it. You are only seeing them going. Towards the end, if you go and you look at him, everybody is completely disappointed. If you are 70 or 80 years old and still you are unhappy, what do I take out of your life then? Tell me. What do I conclude out of your life? You are still unhappy at the age of 80 or 75. वृद्धस्तावत चिंता सकता है. Sitting at 70, 70, 80, you're still crying about this happened, that should not happen. The whole life, what did you do then? Complaining, crying, blaming others. Go to the person who is unnecessarily happy. Go to him and say, how did you become happy then? Because I understood the foolishness of all others earlier itself. I didn't walk that path. Ananda anubhutya chet. Once one has gained that joy of the blissful self, sarvam dukkham nivartate. It is not a fast statement, it's a fact. Sukam atyantikam yattad buddhigrahyam atindriyam vetti yatra na chayavayam stitas chalati tattvada. Na guruna abhi saha vichalyate. Yasmin stito na dukkena bhuna abhi. Having reached with joy, one does not move away. Even the greatest sorrow will not touch him. And thereafter, one does not have any more inclination to go to anything else. Yaswatmaradhireva syad atmatriptascha manavaha atmanyeva cha santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate. Na karyam kartavyam na vidyate tasya. There's nothing more you need to do. Somebody says, you not get bored doing nothing? You know, the sukham that one gets by inaction is incomparable. This inaction is not merely not doing anything physically. The mind is in abidance, in the total nishtha, and that nishtha does not allow him to engage in any action. Because he saw the fallacy, the futility, and the emptiness of action. Not because he's hating action, not because he has some tragedy out of action. He doesn't see the reason for which he has to act. And at the same time, it is not lethargy or laziness. So, ananda atma anubhutya sthit sarvam dukkham nivartate. And he is not afraid of the world also again. Oh, if I engage in the world, it will cause dukkham. Therefore, I don't. No, it cannot. Because so long as we have attachment to the result, then only there is a dukkham possible, is it not? Where do you get disappointment? As Gurudev would say, only when you have appointment. You expect something only, you will get disappointed. You expect nothing. जो कुछ हो रहा है अच्छा ही हो रहा है. I do not have any expectation. Then how can you be made miserable? Tasya jnanasya madhuryam vaktavyam kimuva shabdatah. Then if all the dukkham, all of them can be completely erased by the very experience of the bliss, what need to talk about is nature of sweetness. In the overwhelming the joy of the bliss of the self, other things cannot remain even. It is like, as Gurudev would put it, in the daylight, is there star or not in the sky? Hai ki nahi? Hey? Do you think the stars are there still in the sky when the bright sunlight is there? Hai? Aapko dikhta hai? Can you see it? Just because you do not see, do not say it is not there. But at the very fact that it is overwhelmed by the light of the sun, it cannot have any existence. No more independent existence you will see of the stars. When the absence of the sun, all of them will shine. In the same way, when Atma Anubhuti takes place, where is the question of any alpa dukkham here and there of any kind will ever show up? Even if they are there. It is not that a Mahatma who lives with the body does not have bodily ailments. He will have. But the Atma Sukham is such that all of them will be overlooked. Hai, to hai, nahi to. Let it be. A body, it has to die. It has to have sickness. So what? So the joy of the self, joy of the bliss of the self is overpowering, and thus therefore, even if there are any kind of other dukkham, born by the kaya dukkham, mano dukkham va, prarabdha dukkham va, they cannot stand in front of him. Vedanta darshita swatma dehadipyo vilakshana Satchidananda rupoyam sarvabhuta hriti stitaha Vedanta darshita swatma dehadipyo vilakshana Satchidananda rupoyam sarvabhuta hriti stitaha Ayam sarvabhuta hriti stitaha Vedanta darshitaha swatma dehadipyo vilakshana. This one which is residing in everybody's heart, sarvabhuta hriti stitaha atma, Vedanta darshitaha, Vedantena darshitaha, shown by Vedanta, one's own self, which is dehadibhya. Adi means shariratraya, all the three shariras, or the panchakoshadibhya vilakshana. It is beyond these panchakoshas, beyond the three shariras. All these are all given to us only for the sake of negation, correct? ये स्थूल शरीर है, this is स्थूलम, this is सूक्ष्म, this is आनंद. क्यों ऐसा बताया? ये सबको छोड़ने के लिए, रखने के लिए नहीं. Oh, this is सूक्ष्म शरीर, I am more attached to it. अरे, all these are all told to give up. And understand its nature, understand its limitation. This is annamaya kosha. Anna deva jayate. Anna annena eva tishtati. Annam pradi gacchati. It is born out of food, stays in food, goes back to food. That is not you. Chalo. Again prana, again manaha, buddhi. All of them are explained in such a way that you understand its limitation. And that is not you. So the Panchakosha Viveka, Shariratraya Viveka, Avistatraya Viveka, Drigdashya Viveka, all these are all Vivek karne ke liye. Vichar karne ke liye. Swamiji, one thing which I can't do, vichar karne. Too much, Swamiji. What we do is, instead of vichar, we do chinta. Chintamayoyam purusha. Worry, 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 worry. Swamiji, in my family, I'm the only person who worries. Nobody worries. Others are not at all worried. Yeah, they are intelligent. They gave that job to you. Somebody has to do that. See, the worry is such a thing, it's a directionless thinking. Keep thinking, nothing is going to happen. That very mind which is used to this chinta must be replaced by vichar, atma vichar. The same amount of time you spend which you are worrying, if you can spend in atma vichar, I'm telling you, we're going to go far, far ahead. Whenever there is a worry, just close the book and then start do the vichar. is what will take a mantra or the Upanishad mantra or a Bhagavad Gita, or let me think, instead of this, let me think about that. And you'll find your mind becomes fresh, more, alert. And you will find that without you worrying about it, that problem gets solved by itself. You don't need to do anything. Swamiji, aasan hai kehne ke liye. You were saying it's so easy. It's not easy, Swamiji. You must be a grahastha. Thank God I'm not. Don't put that thing on me. No. And don't blame yourself for that also. Kya kare, Swamiji? Gurudev used to say, householder is, who is a householder? One who holds on to the house. That is the householder. Oh, house is not holding on to him. He is holding on to the house. Satchidananda Rupaha Ayam Sarvabodha Hridistitaha Dehadibhya Vilakshana. It has to be understood as it is definitely it is not part of any of those sariras, any of the koshas. Vilakshana, it is independent of that. And because it is independent of all that, it is available everywhere to everyone in the same way. If it is part of the body, then what is in my body cannot be there in yours or anybody else's. It is independent of that. And therefore, it remains the same. Samam pashyan hi sarvatra samavastitam ishwaram vinishyatsu avinishyantam yap pashyati sapashyati. We'll see more in the next session, the final session tomorrow. And there are some announcements coming, so please stay tuned. And so those who would like to offer Guru Dakshina, there is a link, I think it's there on the screen. You can use that. All right, I will stop the share. Also, there is a chat. In the chat, you will see that link is also given there. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. What are the new people? Yes. Yeah, this is the link. You can scan it through your QR code scanner. You want to say something, either Ashok or
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Yeah, yeah.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, a very quick announcement. Offering Guru Dakshina as a gratitude to our gurus for giving us this very important lessons in our life is a very important Guru Sishya tradition. So please use this link on the screen, or you can even mail the check to Chinmaya Mission Yamunotri address. And please do offer your Guru Dakshina so we can continue this type of activities that mission is having every year. So we appreciate your Guru Dakshina for this time Swamiji has spent with us. We'll do one more announcement tomorrow also. So thank you for attending. And